Can they hear you? Something again? Say it again. I don't think you here because see my meter jumping, but yours jumping. Mic text, mic check. Mic test, mic check. Can't steal the show. The people want to hear from you. You've been gone for 2 weeks now. While we're working on this microphone stuff, Charity will be working on that. But tonight's show. Tonight's show is forbidden fruit. Just what is forbidden fruit? Have you ever heard that term? Forbidden fruit? Apple? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Hopefully y'all can hear us. We're going to get this microphone stuff straightened out. Until then, be right back.
All right, yeah, there we go. Now I can see. Y'all ready to get lit? Live from Jacksonville, Florida. Vodcasting around the world.
You heard me right. That's vodcasting with a V.
We want to welcome you to the LiT TV show, where we love, learn, and leverage information together. Because what we don't know can literally take us back to the Stone Ages. Are y'all ready to get litty? Welcome your host, E.
Mama, there goes that man.
C.
The boy's smart, but he crazy.
Weston.
Y'all can't hear me now. Talk to them.
Hello, good to see you guys back. I see we have United by Love. No, you can't hear me, but we are working on my mic. Not sure what. And I think Taryn G is in the house tonight. Thank you for joining us as well. I hope you guys had a great day. I wasn't here last week. I missed you guys. I hope you missed me, but we're back and one mic, but we're trying to work on that, get that situated. We got some good content for you, some good news for you. I don't know, y'all are in there. Oh, you can't. I know you can hear me now on the microphone. This one, that one's not working. So we're gonna try to get that thing going. But since we have you guys in the chat, just let me know what's going on with you today. What's been going on with you this week? What have you been up to since weeks ago? I missed you. Have some things transpired? That you want to shout at us about? What's been going on? For me, I've been very busy. So if I seem a little jaded today, I'm just kind of tired, to be honest. Ripping and running with the kids and basketball and cheer and competition practices and putting together goodie bags and working in between. So I've been very, 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 very busy. But to say the least, I am still here. But again, I know since United by Love, you got your YouTube channel you're working on. Let us know how that's going. Who else? I see several people here, but you haven't chimed in, so I don't have names. But again, thank y'all for joining us. And we are still working on the technical difficulties. It's like I don't know what happens from to the next. Mic work, mic doesn't work. We did have a lot of family around, and we moved our station a little. So I don't know. That could have had something to do with as well. However, what's today's date? February 21st. Well into the new year. So I was talking to somebody the other day, actually my barber. I hadn't seen him since last year, and it was a couple days ago. So Happy New Year. And someone was like, it's a little late for that. I'm like, how long can we say Happy New Year? I feel like maybe the month of February that we stop seeing. Because if you haven't seen that person and you haven't been able to wish them a Happy New Year, yeah. But now if it's October 2020, y'all hadn't said Happy New Year, then just cut that out. Give it a rest. But I'm glad, kind of feel like 2020 part B, but there are good things going on, and we can say that for sure. Let's see who else has popped on. But yes, thank y'all for being here. We're trying to get this thing situated. The LiT TV show, still doing it in 2021, still hanging in there. Thank y'all for hanging in there with us. If it weren't for you, it would be no us, because then we would just be talking to dead air. But we appreciate the LiT TV family. We appreciate the LiT TV audience. You guys really make our day, really do. And it does still seem like that mic is not working. Let's just see what we'll do. Y'all hang tight with us for just a moment, okay? Don't go anywhere. I said don't go anywhere. Stay right here. Don't leave me. I tell my kids, ready to go to school. Stay with me. I'll miss you too much if you're gone. Do you want me to give my news from right here, right now? Okay. Gonna pay some bills, then we're gonna get right into the news, and we'll see about all this technical difficulty stuff. But you guys are here. Thank you for being here. Ready to pay some bills? All right.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Dares, also known as Butter. I'm originally from Chicago. I've been in Jacksonville, Florida for about 10, 12 years. I've been cutting for about 15 years. I started cutting hair because it was a time back in Chicago where I wanted to get my hair cut every week, but my mom couldn't afford it. So what I do is I take some clippers and try to fade myself, but every time I mess up, I had a homeboy who would fix it. And then the last time he told me, next time I mess it up, I gotta figure it out. So what I started doing, I started learning how to fix my own haircut, then started cutting everybody's hair in the neighborhood. I was charging like $5 and $10, and then it just grew from there. When I first started, my goals was to make sure everybody knew what I did, which was cut hair. So what I used to do by me playing basketball, I used to tell guys to come try me out and see if they like it and go from there. Like my goal was to really cut like 20 to 30 heads a day, but as I've grown now, I'm trying to shorten it so I can have more time to do other things. What drives me to cutting hair is seeing someone from looking rough and making them turn into somebody. Like a haircut, not only will it get you a job, it'll get you a girl, like it shows your whole character when you're fresh and you know you can walk around like, yeah, he did it.
Business owners, is your business signed up to iShopBlack.com? This is the hottest spot for Black-owned businesses and professionals. Get discovered by consumers and make more money. It's just that simple. Visit iShopBlack.com and get signed up today.
iShopBlack.com.
All right. Now, let's see. Is she working now? Say something. No, nothing. Say it again. Yeah, I'm not getting any. Say something now? Yeah, we'll figure it out, y'all. I don't know what's going on with it. Happiness registry. So? Oh. All right, so we shout out to D&T. Y'all can hear me? Yeah, the tapping. Yeah, the tapping's working, but what else is going on over there? I have to figure out what's going on. And y'all hear me talking? Y'all hear me talking here? If you can, D&T and air conditioning out to them. In the southeast area, AC, air, AAC station, period. And with this is their company. Out to them. They take care of us. So I'm just gonna bring the mic here and do this, and then turn it over to Charity for news. So again, if you are in the Northeast Florida, Southeast Georgia, D&T Heating and Air Conditioning, amazing company, awesome rates, take care of their customers, and I mean they take care of them. We're customers, personal customers. So reach out to D&T Heating and Air. Also, we want to give a shout out to Butterbean. Butterbean, that was the barber you guys saw on the commercial. If you need your hair cut, brothers, and not just brothers, sisters too. If you need it cut and you need it cut right, you want to go to www.bean.com and make sure you see this brother. He not only cuts your hair, he also imparts wisdom and relationship, whole 9 yards. It's an experience. It's more than just a haircut. So go see Butterbean. And then last but not least,
iShopBlack.com.
iShopBlack.com. If you are a Black-owned business and you would like to join iShopBlack.com, I suggest you go do it. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to be a member. Go and register to be a part of iShopBlack.com. Not much to cut on. Apostle, you are so right. Not a whole lot to cut here, but go see Butterbean if you got some hair. You can do the beard though, right, Apostle? Do the beard. And again, iShopBlack.com. If you're a member, if you're not a member, go join. If you are wanting to support Black-owned businesses, no better place to go and find Black-owned businesses wherever you're located by visiting iShopBlack.com. All right, so there's our sponsors for today. I don't know what's going on with the mic, but we're going to make it happen anyway. So I'm done my little segment. That's my segment. My segment was the sponsors. So thank you, sponsors. If you would like to sponsor the LiT TV show in any capacity, please send us an email to info@LiTTVNetwork. LiTTVNetwork.com. LiT, L-I-T, TVNetwork.com. Info@LiTTVNetwork.com. And we can put your business as a sponsor. Also, if you would just like to support what we got going, you can go to our Cash App, and that's LiT TV Show. It's actually right here. You can see it at the bottom, LiT TV Show. You can give to our Cash App, whatever God puts on your heart to support the work. We would appreciate it. Now, more important than any money, go hit the like button right now. If you're watching, all 200 and some of y'all, if you're watching, hit the like button. Like. We should have like at least 150, 200 likes just because you're watching. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Hit the like button for us. And if you're not subscribed, please go subscribe by hitting the bell and getting the notification of when we go live. All right. I've done my little segment. I got to turn the mic back over to Charity. Charity Bell, are you ready for your news? News it is. Go.
You're watching the LiT TV show. But now it's time for the news with Charity. Go! Let's go.
Welcome. It's me again. And now, I don't have to ask you that. However, we do have some this week, don't we? So, in a hopeful sign of welcoming a new era of U.S. leadership on the global stage, Leaders around the world on Wednesday congratulated the inauguration of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Wednesday's inauguration marked several historic facts. So Biden becomes the oldest president in U.S. history, and in a signal of the shift demographics across the U.S., Harris becomes the country's first female vice president, as well as the first Jamaican American. I didn't know it was Jamaican. I thought they always referred to African American. But the article says Jamaican American and American of South Asian descent has been voted into office. And foreign leaders noted that moment in America's history across the globe. So America is just excited about the new leadership, the fresh perspective, change, normalcy, and whatnot. And that's, most of my news is going to be about Wednesday because everybody is pretty much talking about everything that happened. Inauguration. Now, next, there was a young author. Her name is Amanda Gorman, and her poem at President Biden's inauguration didn't just make her a household name. It put her at the top of Amazon's bestseller list. So hours after reading her poem, The Hill We Climb, and becoming the youngest inaugural poet in U.S. history, Gorman couldn't contain her joy as she learned her books, The Hill We Climb and Change Sings, clocked in at number 1 and number 2, respectively, on Amazon sales. Now, what's really impressive about that is the book won't even be out until September. Everyone is just pre-ordering right now. So that's a massive accomplishment in such a short period of time, especially when you consider this. Barack Obama's A Promised Land is at number 4. Kamala Harris's Heroes Are Everywhere is at number 8. And Michelle Obama's Becoming is at number 12. So the 22-year-old West LA native and Harvard grad got a huge plug from 44, who tweeted on a day for the history books. Amanda Gorman delivered a poem that more than met the moment. Young people like her are proof that there is always light. If only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be. Now, also in other news, Obama stepped out style and fashion and class. So given her 8 years previously at the White House, it was little surprise that former First Lady Michelle Obama knew precisely how to dress for the occasion. So continuing her long tradition of championing emerging labels and young Black designers, the former First Lady wowed at Wednesday's inauguration. Head to toe, plum and burgundy ensemble by LA-based Sergio Hudson. Outfit comprised of a turtleneck sweater and wide-leg bootcut pants with a structured coat, helping her strike the balance between understated elegance and power dressing. We were thrilled to see former President Barack Obama and former First Lady there at the inauguration as well. Now, also, Joe Biden ended his first night in the White House soaking in the fireworks show over deep, with Katy Perry putting a bow on a historic day. The new president and First Lady Jill Biden wore masks and hugged on a balcony outside of their new digs, watching fireworks over the Washington Monument as Katy sang her hit, Firework. The Celebrating America inauguration concert saved the best for last, with Katy bringing down the house. So Tom Hanks hosted the 90-minute primetime concert live from D.C., braving a cold winter's night at the Lincoln Memorial. Former presidents Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama delivered a special message too, sending Biden words of encouragement and wishing him success for the good of the country, while taking subtle shots at the guy that Biden's replacing. Demi Lovato, Justin Timberlake, Bruce Springsteen, John Bon Jovi, Foo Fighters, and John Legend performed virtually before Katy's grand finale, as did Ant Clinton, Tim McGraw, and Florida Georgia's line Tyler Hubbard. Kerry Washington and Eva Longoria were also part of the action, introducing the acts and sharing stories about young folks making a difference in their communities. So after a long day of politics, procedures, pomp and circumstance, Biden's first day in office did with a bang. that's the news I have for you today. I know it was full. It was a full day. So thank you. And that was it. Back to the show.
This is the LiT TV show with E.C. Weston. Stay lit, my friends.
So, Mom is saying that the mic is going in and out. I'm not sure what's going on with these mics today, but whatever reason, you handle what. Wasn't popping in. Who did it? Mic is going. Probably is going. Yeah, you type situation. Let me know if y'all can hear me consistently. Mike's is just deciding to have their own little mindset tonight. But at any rate, tonight we're going to be dealing with the topic, the forbidden fruit. Just what was it? Just what is? What was the forbidden fruit? And so I'm asking you, I'm going to open up the floor. Apostle say we here. Okay. I'm going to open up the floor and we're going to ask the question right off the bat. What was it? Tonight's show, we're testing out a new call-in number, 321-257-8182, 321-257-8182. You can actually call in live and give us your thoughts, give us your opinion, let us know what you think the fruit was or what the fruit is. If you know what it was or you know what it is, you can chime in. So how about that? And then you can also put it on the text or in the chat if you want to. Taryn G, can't hear your wife, no sound. Okay, yeah, that was earlier. Okay, all right. So open floor. What was it? Was it, we know some people, some depictions, some pictures show it was an apple. Obviously it wasn't an apple. How do you say, a fig? The forbidden fruit was figs, so we should not eat like fig Newtons or any kind of fig related fruit. What was the forbidden fruit? Giannis, check. Thank you. Apostle, are we talking scripture? Yeah, I mean, that's where we get the whole forbidden fruit thing from. We get it from scripture. So y'all tell me, what world was it? Call in if you want to call in. Put it in the chat if you want to put it in the chat. Apostle says, if it was natural, they would have mentioned it, not an apple. It's a spiritual fruit. Okay, I can agree with that. But what was it? Still don't know what was it. Charity, what do you think it was?
I think it was symbolism. Physical. I think it symbolized something. I don't know.
Apostle, what was the spiritual fruit? If it was a spiritual fruit, what fruit was it? Y'all help me. What do y'all think the fruit was? I've heard all kind of stuff over the years. I've heard that the forbidden fruit was sexual, something sexual. I've heard the forbidden fruit was some particular sin. It was disobedience was the fruit. Pride, I heard, was the fruit. I've heard all kind of different things. What do y'all think the fruit was? I'm going to give you the answer, too, which is going to be fun tonight. I'm going to give you actually what I believe and what I think the scripture says is the actual fruit. I just think we've never been taught it and we've looked over it for so long. I can agree with the symbolic, but they ate of it. Was nothing in nature currently. Gotcha. You want to know what the fruit mean? What was the fruit symbolic of, or what did it mean? What was he talking about? Don't eat of this forbidden fruit. What was it? What was that thing? What was God trying to forbid them from? Talk to me. I think it was remnant of the Holy Spirit who decodes good from evil. So you think that he was forbidding them from the Holy Spirit? Come on, talk to me, y'all. What do we think? Forbidden fruit, marijuana strain. People got all kind of stuff. That portion of him, yes, that had no capacity. Huh? Oh, that portion of him, yes, they had no capacity to interpret evil. I guess I could go with that. I don't know about the Holy Spirit part, but I guess I could go to some extent with them not having the capacity to interpret evil. I could go with that. I can go with that. I like that part actually. Apostle, I've heard from you. What everybody else? What do y'all think? What was the forbidden fruit? We've been taught throughout history about the forbidden fruit and the ultimate fall of man. You know, what was the thing that was the fruit that was so forbidden? And I'm not talking necessarily natural, because we know that there's no specific natural fruit that's in the earth. But it was metaphoric, it was symbolic. And what was it? What was he trying to keep them from? What was it symbolic of? Y'all help me out. Yvette Andrews, what's your take? This is United by Love. What's your take? Giannis, what's your take? Karen G, are you still on? Quintez Nelson, are you even on?
Well, since y'all not chatting with us, y'all looking for the answer? Spiritual fruit? No.
If it was spiritual fruit, what was the fruit? What was the spiritual thing? Are you saying he didn't want them to be spiritual? Like, what was the thing he was keeping them from? I think that it was forbidden because of knowledge of good and evil. They only knew good. I can go with that. Matter of fact, let's just take it from there. Let's take it from there. So in essence, the scripture basically says the thing he was keeping them from or having to deal with was knowledge. And I'm going to show you this in a very, very fun way, right? So all our lives, we're trying to acquire more and more knowledge. We want to know, right? And we go to school, we go through life, we're constantly trying to ascertain knowledge. Know, right? To know information, right? And here it is. He said, the day you eat of this, stay away from this tree because this tree is full of knowledge. The day you eat this, you're going to know good and evil. You're going to have knowledge of good and evil. So when God was trying to keep them from that tree, he was trying to keep them from the yin and the yang, the good and the evil, the knowledge or the information of both. Here's what the challenge is when it comes to knowledge. The more we know, the less we learn. The more we know, the more ignorant we become. When we know, we don't have to learn because we know. The more we don't know, the more we become learners. The more we don't know, the more we seek knowledge. Does that make sense? The more knowledge we have, the less seeking we do because now we become knowledgeable. Now we know. And so knowledge actually begins to work against us because we cannot learn any longer when we know. So when God said, I don't want them to have the knowledge of good and evil, he was trying to keep them in a capacity, in a place where they would learn from him, where he would be their master, their school teacher. He would be the person to educate them, and what they know would be coming from him versus them having to do something, which is what Apostle said, the capacity to have to do something with what they know. See, when you know something, you're held accountable for what you know, and now you have to do something with that knowledge. Does that make sense? And so when we look at knowledge as a forbidden fruit, let's look at knowledge even in the world today. The world would be less evil if it wasn't for knowledge. Look at how much we have learned and know as a society when it comes to technology. That knowledge has now turned against us. That's a very good example of how evil and knowledge can go hand in hand. For example, we looked at the movie, the documentary about the cell phone, what was the name of it? Very good example how in this information age, this knowledge of creating technology has now caused us to become the prison of the very thing we created. Apostle says the use of knowledge, and you can have knowledge, but how you use it, which is wisdom, right? The proper use of that knowledge. There's another thing that says knowledge puffs up. The more a person knows, the more arrogant they become. The more a person knows, the more separated they become, right? The more degrees and letters behind my name has the propensity, not necessarily, but has the propensity or the potential, if you would, to cause me to separate from those who do not matriculate through the same vein of education that I have or to the levels that I have. Now I begin to look at people, classes, categories, or look down. Does that make sense? One of the things that if you want to oppress any group of people, you keep them ignorant. So now knowledge has become a weapon. I hope this isn't too deep, but knowledge is one of those things in those areas in which it can work for us, but ultimately many times the more of it we have, the more dangerous we become. Apostle says, knowing evil won't make you do evil, but doing it does. Well, you can only do what you know. Better than to not have known it. Come on, that's exactly right what I'm saying. And that's what he understood when he said, stay away from this tree, because you can only do what you know. Babies become, life for babies is a lot more freer because they don't know. The less knowledge they have, the more freedom they have. The less knowledge they have, the less danger they have. They're trying to experience life in everything, right? In everything, they're trying to experience life. So Their knowledge is coming through experience, not from a head knowledge. The older we get, the more we have a head knowledge, the more we know. And because we know, we can't learn. Because we know, we become prisoners of what we know, and it becomes our perspective of life. Right? That's right. They were in essence babies to knowledge. That's exactly right. They were innocent, dispensation of what we call innocence, because they had no consciousness of knowledge, good and evil, right? They had knowledge of good, but no knowledge of evil. Everything was new. So when everything is new, you experience life. You're learning. When everything's new, you're learning. But when you know, you stop learning. You can't evolve. You become prisoner to what you know. You become stuck in what you know. You become the captain of what you know, the leader, the authority of what you know. And therefore, you can't learn anything new. You can't be open to grow as a child would, because a child always learning. They're going to take, they don't even have to, you don't have to tell them, you don't have to do this. They're going to take whatever, brand new baby, you don't have to tell them nothing. They're going to take whatever they can put in their hand and they're going to put it in their mouth. They're trying to experience it. They're trying to taste it with their senses. They're trying to learn what is it, right? Automatically. Everything was new to them. True. So the forbidden fruit was what? Knowledge. Knowledge. As we grow in knowledge, we also grow in bondage. We grow in knowledge. We also grow in being set in our ways. It's better to not know than it is to know. What's going on, Danny? Thank you for tuning in. You want to chime in on that?
Hey, Danny, how are you? But yeah, I mean, everything, it makes sense. And just from what I've experienced and people that I've experienced, you know, once they get up there and, you know, with titles and degrees and commas, then they become so-called experts, but then it turns in. But if you know it all, then there's no more room. There's no more room, and that can sort of be a not so good position to be in, because there's always room.
Yeah, always room for growth, always room to learn, always room to expand, right? We talk about capacity. Capacity is there being room, right? How much capacity is based on how much room do you have to gain more, to grow more, to learn more. We never know that word. We never know it all. We never know, although we think we do. We never know it all. And if we understand that, then we're able to evolve, grow, and develop, just as a child. Apostle says, Jesus, after 12, when at him, grew in wisdom and in stature. That's good. That's good. So the forbidden fruit is knowledge. Forbidden fruit is knowledge. Well, Pastor, are you saying we should be ignorant? I'm not telling you to be ignorant. What I am telling you is to be a student. I am telling you is be a learner. Be open to learning. Be open to new information, new perspective, insight. My way is not right, neither is yours. We're learning. We should be learning. We're evolving. We're growing. As long as the world has been around, the earth has been around, you and I are just one aspect of life, one aspect of the cosmos. And when we're done, another aspect will take our place. So we're always, we came here to experience, we're always evolving. They still needed the time with God. Still needed the time with God. assuming you're talking about that after the fall, he still needed time with God. Let me tell you what's dangerous. What's dangerous is when we assume we know. You know, scientists never believe in factual. Scientists always believe that there is, we say it's a fact because it's science. Scientists say we're always looking and learning. We never reach conclusion in science because what's understood today is confusing tomorrow. What we know today, we really don't understand because tomorrow there's a new theory or thought or hypothesis concerning that. We look at scientists and we said it's fact. Scientists look at science and they say it's evolving. It's learning. It's never reaching an end state. And I believe that that's the danger of knowledge. I believe that's the danger of knowing good and evil. And when we talk about what the fruit was the knowledge that it said it. That's what it said. It said, stay away from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's the fruit. We don't have to learn good. We don't have to learn evil. But we got to stay away from knowing it. To know something means to be intimate with it. To know something means to understand it. To know something is to have firsthand encounter with it. And he's always wanted us to stay away from having intimacy or having connection to or having an understanding of what we consider good and evil or what is considered good and evil. And that knowledge is what that is. Danny, you say things change too often nowadays to not be open to knowledge and greater wisdom. It's exactly right. Danny, that's the same thing I'm saying. To not be open to not knowing it all. Right? There's another verse that says, my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. So that aspect of knowledge he references has to do with the ignorance, right? So there's a danger in being ignorant, but there's also a danger in having too much knowledge. Knowledge puffs up. Reading the many books, there's weariness of the flesh, much reading. So we can get so much information that we become confused. Do you ever notice that the more you learn of something, the more you really realize you don't know? The more you learn of something you realize, the more you realize just how much you don't know. Right? The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. The danger is when you learn and you figure you do know. This is what it is. This is how it is. It has to be. That's the danger, because then you can't evolve. That's a part of evolving, in my opinion. What do you mean, Danny? Are you talking about your last comment? Things change too often nowadays to not be open to wisdom. That's a part of evolving. And I'm assuming you're talking about the last statement that you made. And if you are, I agree. Or you may be responding to something that I've said. Let me know. But, okay. Yep. So let me ask y'all this. If knowledge can be dangerous, why is it that we live in a world that promotes the knowledge of good and evil as the thing? We feel less than when we don't know something, right? We feel like we're left in the dark when we don't have knowledge. Isn't that what happened when the fall of man? It was really, did God tell you this? Oh, he knows that the day you do this, you're going to be like him. In other words, there's something lacking. There's something missing because you don't know. Right? We want to know it all. We want to know it all. We want to have knowledge of it all. I'm grateful that I don't know everything. If I knew everything, then what would be life? Right? Apostle says,
But with what saying, what about the Bible verse that says, "My perish because of lack of knowledge"? Opposed to.
yeah, so that was the portion that I talked about. There's a danger in ignorance, right? And I think what he's referring to is that knowledge of him. That knowledge of him. See, it wasn't that he didn't want them to have knowledge of him. They knew him. Remember, he took the tree and put it in the middle of the garden and then told them it was there. They didn't have no knowledge of the tree. He gave them the knowledge of the tree. He exposed the tree to them. They had no way of knowing, so he let them know, which means that he wanted to be the source of their knowledge. See, whenever we make the source of knowledge outside of him, then we're held accountable for what we do with it. Whereas if we come to him as the source of knowledge, the source of understanding, then we're safe. It's like taking a child, right? And you take a child and you don't tell them what the danger is. You just tell them no. As long as they come to you and do no, they're safe. But the moment that they experience the thing to learn no for themselves, now they have to do something with it, and now they have to make a decision. And the danger is in having that type of knowledge of good and evil apart from God versus having knowledge and instruction from God. Apostle says knowledge applied. Let me go back up one. God doesn't mind wisdom. Ask willingly, and he gives it, as he did with Solomon, right? Knowledge applied with God is good. Applied with evil or the devil is bad. The issue is the application source. Not just the application source, but the source of information, the source of the knowledge, right? Where do we go to get? See, we can learn good and evil from God. That's how they learn good and evil. Stay away from this. But the day you eat it, you're going to die. That's him telling them the tree of knowledge of good. They learned what good and evil was. They just had no experience with it. They had no personal knowledge with it. They only had the information and instruction from him, right? So now that they make the fall or take of the fruit, now they have personal, internal. Now they have a conflict. Now they have to make decisions. I don't think God ever wanted us to have to decide on our own. We were supposed to go to him, and then he gives us instruction, and that helps us form our decision, right? Every tree you can eat, this one don't. That's helping form our decision-making process. The moment we eat, now we have to make decisions on our own apart from God. No wonder he said, Adam, where are you? He said, I hid myself because I heard your voice, and I was naked. He said, who told you was naked? Oh, did Auntie just say that? Let's see. Right? That's why he said, who told you? Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, who told you? In other words, how do you have this knowledge? Where does this knowledge come from that you know you are naked? The devil or the Satan or the serpent, whatever you want to, it never told them they were naked. Now there's an opening of knowledge and good and evil inside of them. And now they have to make decisions. Guess what he decided to do? He decided to cover himself. He decided to hide himself from God because knowledge apart from God separates us from God. So here's that knowledge now working against us. Look at the danger. Now this knowledge has caused death. Now we're going to educate the person who created us on what's going on. I hid because I was naked. Now we have an opinion. We have a voice. Now we have, well, why did you eat? The woman you gave me. She gave it to me, and it was the woman you gave me. Now we're trying to decide for ourselves what is and what isn't, what's right and what's wrong. No wonder children, think about this. You will have problem with your kids until they gain a certain amount of knowledge. The more they know, the more difficult it is for you to parent them. As they gain more knowledge, they become more self-aware. They become more self-conscious. They become more self-independent of you. And now your words are having to battle with their own words. No different than Adam and Eve. So when God said he wanted to keep them from that, that's what it was. The more we know, the more dangerous we become. I wish I could go back and unlearn some stuff. Not learn something new. I wish I could unlearn some stuff. Some knowledge is hurt. Right? Let's see. Oh, yeah. What's that? They began to be in natural. That's a pretty good breakdown when you say they begin to sow fig leaves. Auntie, that's pretty good. Apples don't have figs. That's pretty good. But again, we know that that's all metaphor, right? To talk about. There's no knowledge of good and evil figs and no knowledge of good and evil apples. We know that's all symbolic, but the key, I think the key thing is really understanding that the more we know, the more we think we know, the more dangerous we become. Not just to others, but to ourselves, right? Not just to others, but to ourselves. That knowledge becomes their own internal dialogue. That's exactly right. That good and evil, that yin and yang, that good and bad, now becomes in our mind this internal dialogue. That's why you're always warring in your mind with these thoughts, right? Knowledge is in the head, is in the mind. Now you have good and evil constantly warring in the mind when God never wanted that for you, right? That internal war now takes place. Now I have to decide good and evil internally. Now I have to make a decision daily about what I know. Auntie, I said early, that's why God says in all things, and give an understanding truth. I agree with that. Greater than knowledge is understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing. Then all thy getting, get an understanding. Understanding is far greater than knowledge. The older we get, the more understanding we should get. Not the more knowledge we should get. The older we get, we seek knowledge, but we have very little understanding. And because of that, knowledge without understanding does not give us wisdom. It creates the danger. You take somebody who has the knowledge of how to destroy a country, but does not have the understanding of what it will do to a country, or what it will do to the individuals, and does not have the wisdom to apply the knowledge that they have, they'll destroy not only themselves, but the entire country, because knowledge is dangerous in and of itself. Yeah.
Gonna get more fun? No, you said earlier, it was like fun. So we usually, it ain't like our usual nights where we put up some images and have y'all rocking the old school music, you know.
Danny says, yes, that's true. So let's go a little deeper. So what are the things that you know that hinder you, that cause you harm? What are the things that you know that has made you into what you should not be, made you into what you wish you were not, make you act the way you should not or desire or wish you would not act? What things do you, our experiences shape our knowledge, right? And sometimes those things become the prison. So what are the things that Deshaun say, so true. Yes, ma'am. What are the things? Something is deep. It's good. Thank you saying this is deep, Auntie. But what are the things that you have learned that have become your thinking, have become your prison? Now, because of what you know, it has shaped. Think about this. We can have an experience with a parent or the lack thereof. And because of what we've been exposed to or what we know, it now forms who we are today. And it's the worst thing about us. It's the thing that we wish we never had experienced or never knew or had knowledge of or never encountered. And now it has shaped us into who we are today. What are those things that you have knowledge of? You have either learned, you have either experienced, you have either been taught, or you have allowed it to shape into who you are. What are those things that this is just who I am, this is the way I am, this is just me, and it has become a flaw, a character flaw for within you? Danny says, woo, Lord, I can't even begin. Just keep praying for me. Apostle, the knowledge and ability to fulfill desires unhindered. That's powerful. That is powerful. That's powerful. Sometimes it's deep and it's good. Sorry, finger typing and clarity about fun. Okay.
I just thought it was going to turn into some type of game or something. I wasn't sure. That's all.
And experiencing things that you shouldn't do, but either feels or tastes good. I agree with that as well, Apostle. Those things that we've had knowledge of that is unhealthy. Think about this. Some foods, had we never had the knowledge of it, we would live longer. There are certain things that, take for an example, a person who, the doctor has said, listen, you gotta put the cigarettes down. It's killing you. You're losing your lungs, your windpipe, cancer. Everything is happening because you have to stop smoking. But because of the knowledge of how it feels or what it does, or the calmness that it creates, or the chemical release that it, because of that knowledge, cannot put it down. It's causing death to happen literally for them, right? What are those things that, and he said, a diary. Oh, dairy. Oh, is it? Yeah. Better. You probably lactose intolerance, dude. Better put that stuff down. There's so many things that we have knowledge of that comes and wars against us. If we never knew it, we were safe, better off. Didn't never have that knowledge or that experience. We can always change, which allows you to grow. What's the question again, Pastor? The question is, what are the things that you have knowledge of that has now become hindrance, a stumbling block, or a cave, a prison cage? It has now encompassed you and keeps you from experiencing whatever you would be experiencing had you not ever exposed or had the knowledge. And do you know that I'll throw this out there. Do you know that there's people who have experienced racism without ever experiencing being racially profiled or having racism against them? It's all because they have this head knowledge that has been given to them, have been force-fed down their throat, and they have no personal experience of racism at all. But they fear the opposite race, or not necessarily fear, but they envy or angry, or they have issues with the opposite, but they have no personal experience. The knowledge has been given to them. No wonder if you can control the education system, you can control the person. Why? Because of knowledge, right? What do we have? Sister, with Pastor again? Always change. Mama, you're right. We can always change, which allows us to grow. And that is one harmful item. Productive. reasons I brought it. Do you know what another thing is that's dangerous about knowledge, and especially knowledge that is given to us? Is that knowledge unchecked creates belief systems, and belief systems are hard to break. When a person believes, it's hard for them to learn or believe, because this is what they believe. When belief has been created through force-fed knowledge, rather the knowledge is truth or rather the knowledge is correct, it's hard to break belief when a person begins to fully believe in what they feel they know, right? So knowledge can also be a form of bondage. Yes, knowledge not just can, knowledge is bondage. Knowledge is bondage. A knowledge apart from God. God-given wisdom and knowledge doesn't create bondage, it creates freedom. But knowledge apart from that is bondage. No ifs, ands, or buts. We think the more we know, the freer we are. The more you know, the more bondage you become capsulated in. Let me give you an example. Of that. If I told you and taught you years that left is the only way to go in life, left. The only way to go is left. That knowledge will free you to some extent. I'll give you another example. This one's probably even better. I put you in a cage. The cage is 100 square feet. And you feel free as can be in 100 square feet. Until you learn the knowledge of 200 square feet. Now you feel suffocated in 100 square feet. That was good. That knowledge now has caused you to be in prison. Forced. No. That was good. So, Auntie, yes, knowledge can be a form of bondage. Knowledge. That's the only way you can be bondage. Bondage is always in the mind. Knowledge is always in the mind. Bondage is never. There's people who are in prison more free than people who are walking around. So it's never the physical. It's always internal. It's always, he said, don't eat of the fruit. He was trying to keep them from, like Apostle said, that internal war that will go on. Knowledge and bondage and freedom is all internal, always. So knowledge definitely, because it's internal, can be a form of bondage, is an internal thing. Anybody who's warring and in bondage in their mind is literally in bondage. That's a knowledge thing. That's a head knowledge thing. Yeah, that was good, Auntie. I was fresh too. That was good. Yeah, good. You're always free until you learn something new. Then you learn something new. Then you feel like you don't know enough. See, Adam and Eve were fine as long as all they knew was what God told them. The moment they learned new information, the moment they had new knowledge, now, what you mean? I'm gonna be like, my eyes are gonna be open. What you mean? Aren't my eyes already open? What do you mean? And then watch, now they go and make that move, and now we know really that move causes. So, yeah, that I hope that was good. All right. Topic was not a fun topic in the sense of general fun, but it was fun to me. I like talking about stuff that just makes us think. I like talking about stuff that just makes you look at things from a different perspective, right? The more education, let me tell you what I've learned about knowledge. The more you feel you don't know, more willing you are to learn. The more you feel you do know, you can't learn nothing because you already know. And when you already know, the bondage in and of itself, that's far greater than what you know and I know, that life doesn't exist in our head. Because we know it, we can only be limited in whatever we know. You take anybody who's gone through, even the scientists will tell you, they do this all day long. Hypotheses at best. We don't. We're ever learning. Right? We're failing daily. And crossing off what does not work in hopes to find what does. The moment we find what does, the research then began. Yeah. Fun to me as well. Thank you. This was good. God bless y'all. Got to keep y'all. Hopefully by next week, we had a microphone fixed and figured out whatever the world's going on with the microphone. Because that was crazy. So I'm gonna give a few nuggets. I think I'm gonna give a few nuggets and we'll set it down for tonight. Did you want to say anything? All right. I'm gonna give a few nuggets and then we'll set it down. So knowledge is never good or evil. Apostles, right? Knowledge is information. What makes it good or evil? What we do with it. Religion is not bad. What man decides to do with it. Knife is an amazing tool. Just whatever man decides to do. Too often we look at inanimate objects that are bad. You need to take the guns from the people. Guns, not bad. You give baby knife because the baby does not have knowledge, dangers of the knife, the baby could harm themselves. And so knowledge too early, bad as well. The lack of knowledge can be bad as well. So it's never rather it's knowing. Remember, the tree was exposed to them by God. So they had knowledge of the tree, but their knowledge came from a source. That source was, whenever we look to a higher source to give us our internal reference point, we'll always be in the right. We'll always be in a street called straight. We'll always be in the right vein. When we seek outside knowledge, knowledge puffs up. Before you know it, start trying to be as God. Start trying to be like God. Knowing good and evil. Guess what? Most often we don't do. Choose the side of evil. That knowledge of evil against our own. Right? If they ever figure out how to create man, you think that would be good knowledge? Think they would do good things with it. Man never has the capacity to make the right choice to do. Or knowledge we have, even if it's a good knowledge, good piece of information, software, technology, hardware, whatever, good create. Always find. God knew that. What he wanted to do was to make sure we him for our source knowledge of versus getting it apart from him. Like a baby, have the capacity to know the right thing with it. Life isn't bad. The knowledge causes them. God bless you. I hope y'all had a good time tonight, man. This was a little different, like I say, but what I had for tonight's show, just what was the fruit? The fruit was the knowledge of good and evil. Until next week, make sure you go and support the LiT TV show by donating any amount to our Cash App. It helps to keep the show going. If you'd like to get your commercial or get your show sponsored or your company sponsored on a TV show, let us know. And last but not least, if you don't do anything else, hit that like button, push it out. Let your friends, hey man, let them know it's going to be, every week live. Subscribe and to join and to tune in. You guys make this thing possible. Thank you. We're up to 1.93, I think. 1.9, just shy. 1,930, not mistaken, subscribers. We're knocking on the door to 2,000 subscribers. Thank you, guys. We're going to hit that mark real soon because of you. So keep pushing with us and keep tuning. Until next week, stay lit, my friend. God bless y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to the LiT TV show with E.C. Weston. Don't miss next week's webisode. Same time, same bad channel. Hey, Hey, we're viewer supported, so don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Edward Weston, our Instagram, E-C Weston, and our Facebook, E-C Weston. Also, let us know what you'd like us to talk about on upcoming shows. Wait. Stop the music. I almost forgot the most important thing. We need LiT team members. If you'd like to help keep this show going, join the LiT team by donating $20 or more via Cash App at $LiT TV Show. And we'll recognize you live on next week's show. Okay, bring the music back. Next Thursday, 7 p.m. Be sure to tune in because you won't want to miss it. And until then, stay lit, my friends.